This book that I'm going to talk about will help you address one of the biggest areas of problems when it comes to running a business. So, the book we're going to be talking about today is The Energy Bus by Jon Gordon. Now, the reason why I think this book is amazing is because it addresses one of the biggest issues that I hear every time I'm talking to law firm owners or any type of business owner is when it comes down to addressing that big issue of how do I lead and manage people? I think this book is phenomenal. This book was so good that I had my COO read it, and I've read it probably 3 times since I got the book a few months ago because there is so much great value in the book. I've even had some of my staff read this book because it really does address some of the very, very big issues. Now, I will say the book is set up like some of my favorite books that I read is it's set up there's a storyline that you're following. There's a character in the book. You're following this character, what has happened to them, and the book takes you through 10 rules. There are 10 rules to the energy bus, and I'm not going to cover every one of those, but I'm going to cover a few of the ones that I think are the ones that really jumped out to me. And I would encourage you to go read the book to check out the other ones. Now, as my disclaimer, I didn't read the physical book. I listened to the audiobook because I like to listen to books while I'm working out and I can speed it up. And so it wasn't a very long book at all once I listened to it on the audio and I sped it up a little bit. So I was able to get through it in a couple of days during some of my workouts or when I was going on a walk. But it was a really good book. So just to give you some context on the book. So the book starts with a character, and I forget the character's name because the lessons were more impactful to me than the actual character's name. But let's say the person's name is David. David's car breaks down, and David has to get to work. And so David is unable to use his car, so he has to take the bus to get to work. And when he gets on this bus, it happens to be the energy bus. And when he gets on this bus, he learns 10 valuable lessons about how to really jumpstart his work and how to jumpstart his leadership in business. And these 10 lessons are very good. Now, so I'm going to walk through a couple of these lessons. All right. Lesson number one. Lesson number one is that you are the driver of your bus. See, a lot of times when it comes down to leading a business or leading in business, we tend to think that we're captivated or we're a captive of the situation that we find ourselves in. The thing that we have to think about is when you're the bus driver, and you're the one driving the bus. The good thing about it is you get to set the tempo because when you think about the buses where you have to get on the bus in the front of the bus, the very first person that anybody sees when they come to this bus, if they're coming through the front entrance, is going to be the driver. And what that literally let me think about was, hey, when people come and encounter our business, I set the tone because if I'm driving the bus, guess what? I am the first introduction people are going to have. So if you're going to bring on employees, or if you're going to bring on, I would say, supporters or people who want to be a part of the vision that you are actually driving towards, you are the first person that they're going to meet. So you have to set the tone from the beginning. And what you don't realize sometimes is the tone that you set is what people will follow. Because think about it this way. Let's say if you got onto the bus and the bus pulled up and the doors open and the bus driver has a absolute attitude, like it looks like they woke up on the wrong side of the bed or they're having a very bad day. When you get on that bus, you're probably not going to be as excited. You're like, man, this person has a bad day. And it's going to mentally set the tone for you as you get on the bus. Now, you may be meeting some of the greatest people on that bus, but if that driver sets the bad tone as soon as you step up, then you're probably not going to have the best experience on that bus. Now, take it the other way around. Let's say you've been running behind and things have not been going well. Like you were trying to get out the door and hey, one of the kids threw up as you were trying to get out the door, or let's say somebody spilt something on your favorite shirt. Now you got to run back and you got to change. And now you're running to catch the bus. Let's say those doors open and this person has the most welcoming attitude and they are happy about driving this bus. They're happy about the day. Imagine how you are going to start feeling and how that is going to impact you. the energy of the bus driver will have a significant impact on how things go for you. So, the first lesson was really making sure that you understand that you are driving your bus, that whatever you're doing in your business, making sure that you are setting the tone because people are looking at you to see, hey, how should I approach this thing or how is this experience going to go? If you're setting a very low experience, guess what? The people that you bring on your team, they're probably not going to rise that far above your level of energy. Now, the second thing that I would say is that the biggest thing that jumped out to me as I started reading the book a bit more is that desire and vision is very important. Now, when you're riding on a bus, one of the things that you also know is that you're headed somewhere. Like there's a destination you're headed to. Most people don't just get on the bus because they're like, hey, I'm just along for the ride. It's like, you know that you're riding this bus to get from point A to point B, or you're trying to get to a destination. When it comes down to leading a business or owning a business, running a business, one of the questions you have to ask yourself is, have you made it clear what the vision, the destination is of where this bus is headed? Now, I know a lot of business owners, a lot of law firm owners, say that, hey, yeah, we have goals for our business. But I ask you, do the people on your bus know where you are going? Because if the people on your bus don't know the destination that you're headed to, they don't know where you're going, it's very difficult for them to even get excited or for them to get invested in what is going on. As a accountant, I tell you, like we do bookkeeping, CFO work for law firms. And one of the things that I encourage law firm owners to do is to set math-based goals. What I mean by math-based goals is these are well-defined goals, like goals we can say, hey, our goal is to grow by 15%. Or hey, our goal is to support, let's say, 50 active cases a month, or our goal is to increase our staff by 5 people. Those are very clear objectives, very clear destinations that people can see and people can decide whether or not, hey, am I bought into that vision? Because here's the thing. If a bus is coming by and you know that bus is not going to a destination that you actually want to go in, then you're probably not going to get on that bus. Or let's say if the bus driver, you got on the bus, you didn't know where that bus was going, but the bus driver says, "Hey, we're headed to Mississippi." If you didn't want to go to Mississippi, you now have a decision to make is, "Hey, if I don't want to go to Mississippi, then I'm going to pull the chain or hey, I'm going to tell the bus driver, hey, can I get off the bus? Because that's not the destination that I want to go in." And here's something that I think a lot of business owners and leaders struggle with is sometimes you end up having people on your team that shouldn't be on your team, people that shouldn't be on your bus at all. And part of the reason that they're staying on the bus is because when they joined your company, when they joined your team, they have a destination, they have a goal that is personal to them in mind. Maybe it's, hey, I want to earn a paycheck, or hey, I just want to pay my bills, or let's say, hey, I believe that I could become a manager, or hey, one day I could become a partner in this organization. If their goal and their desire or their destination does not align with the way you are leading the business, then it's probably not going to work out as well. So, what you can do is make it very clear where this bus is going. Because once you make it very clear where this bus is going, then you can ask the, I would say, very genuine and honest question when you're meeting with your people on your team is, hey, here is where we are going as a team, as an organization. Does that align with where you are trying to go? Because if there's not alignment, then hey, you give the person the option to say, hey, you know what? It's okay if you want to leave the bus. And I know this may sound like it is a very harsh one, but I'll tell you a very practical example of how I do this with anyone that comes on our team. Whenever I hire anyone on our team, and right now we're a team of 14 people. So whenever I hire anyone on our team, I tell our team is, hey, I ask for there are two commitments that I make up front. One is that this relationship has to be mutually beneficial, which means that we as an organization are headed to a certain destination. Here are the goals that we have as an organization. I am hiring you and bringing you on the team because I believe that you can help this organization get to that goal. Now, if you don't agree with that goal or you don't believe that you can help us get to that goal, hey, let's have an honest conversation about it. Now, the second thing that I say is my other commitment as a leader is that I understand you have your own goals and you have your own desires for your career and what you are trying to do, but from your personal life, your family. So, what I ask is if what we are asking you to do in this job does not align with your personal goals or your career goals or the destination that you are headed to, then I will be absolutely honest with you and tell you this is not the organization for you. And if you have done a great job in this company, I will do everything I can to use my influence in the industry, to use my influence on social media, online, to help you find another job that does align with where you are trying to go. So, what I tell you is this is if you are going to be on this team, I need you to be invested in the destination we are trying to work towards. Now, if what we are trying to work towards doesn't align with where you are trying to go with your career or in your personal life or how you want to work, then it is best for us to be honest and for us to part ways. And when I had that conversation with every person on the team, what I will tell you is people become way more invested in what we are doing because they know we are headed to a specific destination. And also, there's no hard feelings if you want to get off the bus because we've had some employees that have said, like, hey, based on some things going on in my life, I have an opportunity. Like one employee had the opportunity to work as an accountant on a cruise line. She wanted to travel and see the world. And I told her, I was like, hey, I can't give you that because that's not the nature. I can't compete with that. That's not the nature of our business. But I am fully supportive of you. I will write you a great recommendation letter and I wish you all the best. And hey, as you move into that new job, if there are any questions you have about processes or things that I can help you be successful in that job, let us know. I'm willing to support you. And she left the company and she went to pursue that opportunity. And we're happy for her because what I realize is I need to drive this bus to the destination that we are headed, which means there are some people that may not stay on the bus forever, or some people that don't ever need to get on the bus, which brings me to the third and final thing that I want to cover is not everybody needs to get on your bus. And this is something that I think a lot of business owners struggle with because they're often thinking about, man, we got to get this work done. I just need a warm body to do it. Now, of course, they don't say, I need a warm body to do it. What they often say is, hey, we need a qualified person to do this job. Now, what I will tell you is, not every qualified person who applies for your job should actually work in your organization. So, this is where you, as a leader or you, as the driver of the bus, you need to have some criteria on, hey, who should and who should not be on the bus. And you need to be more upfront about what those criteria are. So, for us, one of the big things that we did is we transformed the way we do our application and interview process. So, one of the things that I often ask every applicant to do is we put the job description out there. One of the things that we ask in our job description is I want you to create a video or an audio recording, and I need you to explain what are the key aspects of your resume and your prior work experience. And then the question I also want you to answer is why do you feel like you are the best person for this job? What I will tell you is when making that a requirement up front of like when people are trying to apply at this company, what I can tell you is the people who don't do that or the people who don't have a good answer for why they are the best person for the job, then I would say is you already told me up front. You probably don't need to be on this bus. And the people who have answered that question, I can start to gain an understanding on, okay, all right, why do they want to be on this team? Or why do they feel like they are a good fit for this team? Because as a leader, part of what I need to do is evaluate who are we letting on the bus? Because what you realize is every person that you let on your bus, every person you bring into your organization, they are either bringing something with them, something that is going to benefit the team, something that is going to benefit the organization, or something that may start to drag the team down or pull the team away from what we should be focused on. So, as a leader, I have to be very diligent about who I let on the bus. The same thing when it comes down to clients is we're not just out there trying to find more people to pay us so we can just grow our business or grow our revenue. Is we want to work with the people that we should be working with. We want the people on our bus who should be on our bus, and we want to make sure that we have set up processes to be very fair and honest with people so that the wrong people don't get on our bus and distract us and have us going to the wrong destination. As I said, there are 10 different rules. I've only covered 3 of those rules, but I really highly advise you to go out and read this book because it will help you see some of the issues that many business owners encounter. As you read the book, you'll probably find yourself saying things like, man, you know what? I experienced that same thing. Oh my gosh, it makes so much more sense. So, if you're looking for a really good book that you can read that is going to help you understand how to navigate the most challenging area, because managing people, leading people in an organization is one of the most challenging areas to having a successful business. And if you're looking for a great book that I think has a good storyline and has a good, unique analogy, then The Energy Bus by Jon Gordon, I think, is a great one for you to check out. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Law Firm and Finance Show, where we give you great content that helps you build a more successful law firm. So make sure you hit that subscribe button on all platforms and follow us for more content.